Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Christmas Eve, because today is the 24th of December, and today is another video of Marvel Strike Force. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to do something, but what I want to do in today's video, it's nothing super serious, really. I want to do a bit of a reflective video of where we are in Marvel Strike Force. Some things that I maybe wish would happen, I guess, as we move forward, post Christmas into the new year, things like that. I want to talk about what's good with Marvel Strike Force, what's bad with Marvel Strike Force, what I would like to see maybe change, maybe see some improvements. Maybe it might be impossible, I don't know. I mean, it seems like they make the same mistakes over and over and over again, the same mistakes, in fact, that they've been making. Winter's Peak or Sword Satellite is a prime example of that. But nonetheless, I do want to go over some things in today's video. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Now, I forgot to bring this up in my yesterday's video when we were talking about all the other bugs. But if you haven't seen this, some people missed this out. I did post this in my Discord server, but in case you missed out, the Groot's first gift. Now, it seems like we're getting multiple of these gifts, but contained within them is 310 Thanos Endgame shards. So this was enough. My main account already had this maxed out, but it was enough to get my Thanos maxed out for my alt account, which was fine. I feel a bit disappointed in some ways that I spent a ton of Battle World credits in order, and now it's that many shards for free. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, it's great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, it kind of sucks. It's kind of the silver lining. No, not the silver, the opposite of a silver lining. You do get these Groot's grand finale fragments, though. It's 700. It's such a weird number because it almost suggests that you need to open 3 of these, which then give you 2100 of the other one. Again, odd number to open the Groot's grand finale orb, which we don't know what that's going to be quite yet. That might be around New Year's time because it seems like we're getting about 500 of these fragments every day. So if I need 5 more days of this, that would line me up to about the 29th or so, so just before New Year's Eve. So I think that that's what they might be priming for. What's going to be in that orb, I don't know. That does mean that you need to open 3 of these, which means it's like a full unlock of Thanos Endgame to 7-star, right? That's 930 shards. I believe if I'm... It's 310 for 5-star, so 500 more, 810 shards for a 7-star character. So this is absolutely going to max a character out if we do have to open 3 of these. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of bring that up in the beginning of the video. Now, let's just kind of cover, obviously do a quick recap of what's going on. The Winter's Peak. I know, yes, I already did this in yesterday's video, but I think it's hilarious that the exact same bug has happened again. Not only have we had the same bug with Frozen Dimension or Pocket Dimension, but the same thing with Sword Satellite as well. It almost suggests that going forward, if these things ever come back again, we have to assume that the same thing's going to happen. They can't fix their mistakes. The same thing happens ad nauseum. And so what am I talking about as well? This launched 4 hours early. In fact, so if you got in 4 hours early, you could do an attack or do all your attacks, in fact, and then that would put you basically a full day ahead for the leaderboard. So it is what it is. I don't think that they're going to address it. There's 10 days. They're on holidays. It's great for people who can get to clear the final milestone, milestone 21, aka floor 50, if you're able to. I think you need Mephisto to beat the other enemy, Mephisto. Also, I heard that the floor stuff that I was talking about in yesterday's video is a visual bug. But hey, let me know in the comments down below if you did end up battling like different characters. But I heard it was just a visual bug that if you like reset it, it would go back to normal, something like that. I don't know why there were so many variations of different floors. But the rankings. So yeah, this is going to be compromised, but they have time to fix it. I mean, they have 10 days, right? So that's until after New Year's. But normally what happened the last time in July, and I had a video of this, honestly. That's why I think it's so funny, because the exact same bug happened again. I believe it ran for like half a day, and they brought the original leaderboard down, or maybe the event down, and then they relaunched it with the correct leaderboard at the correct time, that kind of thing. So it's a bit I think it's probably a bit too late, but we'll see if they end up actually doing anything. I feel that given it's Christmas Eve, I feel like nobody's actually working, really, and so I don't expect a resolution on this side. Just take it for what it is, I guess. And if you are hyper competitive, just if you didn't make it in the first 4 hours, probably don't bother too hard. Like, you're missing out a full day is pretty substantial if you're trying to get to these top milestones here. So the other funny thing is that, well, the same thing happened in Frozen Dimension, and I want to repeat this again because while I really hate Frozen Dimension, I think it's the worst thing to come to the game. Honestly, it's the worst fucking event. Sorry for swearing on you. I beat it. By the way, just heads up, I beat it. I can't believe it. I beat it. I actually two tapped the final note. I can't believe it. By all miracles, I somehow killed Odin on the first go. I couldn't believe it. It took me like 6 different repeats. The RNG just fell in my favor. I used Guardian, Thanos, Gore, Kahori, and Gladiator, I'm pretty sure. And then that's what I used. Those 5. Guardian was a weird one, and I still managed to get it done. And I can't go back in there, so I can't really show you. But, the same problems as the previous Pocket Dimension, where you could run 3+ runs. Now, if you're someone who is really, really fast with Frozen Dimension, right, somehow, you could get multiple runs in, maybe like 4, maybe 5. Depends on if you can clear it in a single day, which I can't. Then you would technically be able to run this quite a few times. With the 2-day break in between, you could run this 5, 6, 7 times maybe. I don't know how many maximum you could actually get in, but you are getting those node rewards as well. Don't think that they're going to address it, because if they address it, then that means they have to do something about it, and I haven't seen anything yet. The only thing that I have seen is that for players who accidentally claimed the Winter's Peak the Winter's Peak Sword Satellite milestone points for the current event, then you will get that mailed out to you. Now, the other thing is that for the 2 turtle doves, by the way, this earn 1 best of 2024 orb. There's 2 ways that you can do this. You can clear milestone 50 on Sword Satellite on the tower mode, and you get the fragments there for that orb. Or you can clear Pocket Dimension, Frozen Dimension, and you'll get it there. Basically, you need to claim any fragments of this orb, and it'll automatically give you the 30,000. I think it's coded to give you, if you claim 3 fragments, like at all, you will get this. It's like 1 fragment a piece. It's not even a full orb. It's asking you for a fragment in this game, which is absolutely ridiculous anyways. I feel like for the first bit of the video here, I was just kind of recapping a lot of things, but let's talk about what I would like. Actually, no, that's a good segment there. So all of this stuff, I would like it to be not bugged. Let's just start there, right? I would like in 2025, I know this is asking the impossible, but I would like things like Sword Satellite. I would like things like Pocket Dimension. Any other event that has been horribly bugged. And I do want to say that Temporal Dimension, while it might not, or Temporal Cataclysm, while it might not seem like it, I honestly do not believe that they actually intended for the node rewards to be there. Remember how we got, if you ran this twice, you would get hidden node rewards? Honestly, I don't even think they planned that. I don't know how it landed on the nodes. I don't know how any of this happened, but I just don't think that was planned. Because if it was, they would have told us in advance that there was going to be rewards on there. Hell, it would have been shown, right? Like, it's never, that's the funny thing, is because trials have never historically shown rewards. And so that's why nobody expected it to happen. And until suddenly started people seeing diamond orbs in their inventory and wondering where it came from, and that it came from here. Absolutely crazy. So I know this is asking the impossible, but can we minimize how, I'm not going to say game breaking, it's not all of them are game breaking, but just how bugged things are on release. It's like that they can never get it right. Ever. We can't even go a week without some shit hitting the fan. It's crazy. And honestly, it's sad. It's like, when you're mad at someone so much, it's like you're not mad anymore, you're just disappointed. That's kind of where I'm at with Marvel Strike Force. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the state of characters a little bit. This is something I haven't actually brought up in a while, but there is quite a few recent characters. I have this channel here called Current Character Bugs, and I opened this up when the North Star charges was being an issue, right? And so this has been since fixed, but a lot of the other characters have not. So believe it or not, there's like a handful of, whether it's a text-based bug or an interaction that's not working properly, there is actually things that are wrong. Now, for Omega Sentinel, you actually don't need level 7. The text says for Omega Sentinel that you need, in the game, that you need level 7 to add ability block to the character, but you don't, because it's actually active from level 2. And I actually checked the JSON file on that one. As far as Sentinel goes, he also doesn't need the passive. The passive blocks deflect, rather, at level 2 passive and not level 4. There's just all sorts of things that just were missed, or they didn't, the text doesn't line up with what's actually happening, because I checked the character JSON and things like that. Sasquatch has been bugged for forever since he's been out. when the passive does not remove safeguard when he's exhausted. You might have seen this a lot before, where you exhaust Alpha Flight in the past, right? And then all of a sudden, Sasquatch still has safeguard. That's because there's no text indicating that this removes it, but it's in the game for Sasquatch. It says if you read his passive, it's supposed to do that, but it doesn't, right? Cosmic Ghost Rider's ultimate is a permakill, but there's nothing on his text on his ultimate that suggests that. So you might have noticed this in Dark Dimension 7, I believe, maybe 8. I think it's 7 mostly in the global hero section, I want to say, when you're fighting, because people notice this when you start losing Sunspot in Dark Dimension 7. And all of a sudden he didn't have his charges. That's because he's a permakill on his ultimate. Moon Knight, his ultimate is not unavoidable when it comes to accuracy reduction. So if there's Spider Weaver there and she puts up her charges, Moon Knight has a text saying that basically that if you have the full team, basically it should be unavoidable. It also should have text for 2-turn heal block instead of 1, which it does not. Ancient One's passive, after they buff the team a little bit, it's bugged. So Ancient One does not give crit chance to herself outside of Battle World. She's supposed to have, or she does say, I mean, I guess I could bring it up. Ancient One, not that it matters that much, but just to show you. Down here when it says gain 25% crit chance this here, this actually does not apply. And it's very easy to check, actually, because if you go in game, she should have a lot higher than this. So the reason why it's 40% is because I have Raider, but it should be more like 60%. So she doesn't have it active at all. However, she does still give it to the team, at least in Battle World, because I don't believe it applies to the team outside of Battle World right now. Emma Frost X-Men, her passive, which was designed to block plus speed, does not work if you have her on defense for some reason. I'm going to give a shout out to Updog. I believe it was the first one to mention this, and apparently it still hasn't been changed as far as I'm aware. Keep asking people in my Discord, and they said that it hasn't been changed, I don't think. And then finally, Kahori, her ultimate actually in war can be dodged and evaded. If you look into the JSON file and you compare characters like Kahori's ult with, say, Kang's ult, basically it's different. The coding is different, and so it can be dodged and evaded. Her code has extra accuracy, which means she can't be blinded, but she doesn't have the same code to attack through dodge, chance, or evade. Basically, her ult should be relabeled to cannot miss. So there is some, again, these are just like simple things, but make quite a bit of difference in some of the characters. And I feel like we can't even go a patch. I don't know. Have we gone a patch without a bug? I don't think so. I mean, it's or reworks or something like that. It's just it's been pretty Night Stalkers. Maybe we've got away with Night Stalkers without having a bug. But that's one of the things that I would like to see going into 2025, which again is probably asking the impossible. That not that there's going to be bugs, right? Like, let's be honest. But that they fix the bugs, that they fix the mistakes. I made this channel to make it really easy for Scopely or Scopely representatives or whoever to share this, envoys, if you want, to share this information so that it can get fixed. That's essentially why I made this channel, and I'm going to continue to add on to it as people report this to me, or as I find them out and I, cross-reference the JSON and things like that. The other thing I want to talk about is something positive, actually. Believe it or not, I have some positive things to say, and I actually like this Path to Absolute A-Force milestone and how they're doing the pity system with this team. I like the fact that we get the we get the points for opening all 3 of the path orbs, not where you have to open 20 different orbs from each of the characters in order to get one for them. What I like is that I can open a collective 20 orbs from either of them, and then I get this currency, and then I can choose who I want to use it on. Now, I've been using it mostly on Kahori. I don't really care much about the rest of the team. I'm not really big into war. I really want to get my Kahori to 5-star, and I want to get her up as high as possible. But, you can use it how you want. You can use it to unlock Miss Marvel. You can use it to unlock Medusa, etc., etc., etc. I actually really like, this is probably the best version of these garbage pity orb systems, because I can then save them if I want to and use them on a different character. That's not something that I was able to do on any of the other teams like Astral or every other team, basically, that had these orbs. So, I don't like the orb system, but if they do want to keep any version of it, please bring back this one. This is going to be my positive feedback that while I hate this new system, this is the best of the worst, if that makes sense. The other thing that I want to talk about is the stores. I'm a little bit I know we're getting Battle World credits. Actually, I need to spend some because now that I cleared Frozen Dimension, now that I know that, I don't know why I'm. In fact, I shouldn't be using on Nimrod. I should probably see whether or not there's going to be a Night Stalker's character that gets dropped in here in the Battle World store. I don't know. I don't think they are. I don't know if they're adding new characters in. That's a big question mark that I have over the game right now, is whether or not they're actually going to add anything to the Battle World credits or the Battle World Siege store, whatever, character wise, because it's kind of, unless they're giving a crap ton on, remember how they're bringing this back for like a month, right? Or it's like every month in the early 2025 preview, the return of Battle World, I don't know, wherever it says monthly events. So are they going to give us enough currency to justify this store still being here? I have some suspicions about what's going to happen, but I mean, it's just, they really need to, I've already gone on a rant about the purple ISO stuff. They need to find some better methods in supplying this to the community and to the player base, because it's just really not enough for what we get right here. And I would really like to see just some overall revamps of the store. I think I may have spoken about this, especially the Crucible store and the War store. The Raid store has some pretty good updates. I have no problems with this. But the War store and the Crucible store, which are the main two PvP game modes that this game has and what a lot of people are playing, there's absolutely nothing that I can spend my resources on, and it's completely stupid. Whenever they add a new character in here, you can see I have like maxed out, more or less maxed out currencies that I'm never going to use. And so they need to find some way to make this useful. I don't know what they have to do, if they have to add red gear in with some insane numbers to drain it, but it just keeps stacking and it's inconsequential. And actually, part of the reason why I don't really play a lot of PvP is because I don't have any use for the currency too. I mean, I don't really need the diamonds too much either. I'm in a position where, I'm solidly, because of events and other things and just doing well in Crucible for a little while, I'm sitting on almost 2,000 silver diamond credits if you count my Elite 7 tokens. And so I just have no real reason to play PvP other than, I guess, the fun factor of it. But, I've been very clear that I like some sort of carrot attached to my gameplay. And so I just don't really have that right now with Cosmic Crucible or War. I'm sitting on like countless of these tokens. So anytime they add a character, it's not a big problem. I just like eventually I buy it when it shows up, etc., etc. I just wish there was some value to my resources that I could do. There's like no orbs that's even worth buying. There's no orbs in here that's worth buying. They really need to do a facelift on these stores. It's incredible. The arena store, I don't really have a major complaint other than I do have a shit ton of arena creds. There's nothing I can do about that. I don't really need the training modules, but it is good that they're in there, especially for like my alt account and other newbie accounts. It's good. The increase of arena credits that you get daily is really good for buying these training modules. The raid store, I have zero issues with. I really wish that they would add in the rest of the awakened ability materials. That's something that I want to talk about, is that we're really behind. They haven't added in any other characters other than Green Goblin Classics in here, so there's nobody else. I would love to see Old Man Logan in here. I would like to see Ares in here. I would like to see Blade in here at some point. Like, they just haven't updated any other characters in here, and so this really needs to change. I think, in my opinion, that's my only complaint, I guess, I have of the raid store. Otherwise, everything's fine for their Bliss store. I think it is what it is there too. I don't know if there's, maybe if they added some training modules in here too, that'd be kind of nice. But I mean, other than that, it's a Blitz store, and there's really not too much to talk about. And the event stores, I wonder how long they're going to keep going with this, because they've been attempting to drain our resources and our gold for some time. And we've had quite a few of these, right? We've had the October candy store, we've had the November turkey store, and we got the December snow globe store. 3 months of straight event stores, which is good to some extent. Some of them were better than others. There's Loki shaking. November with the turkeys, which I believe that was Captain Britain, right? Or was that October? Whichever one had Captain Britain in it. I think it was October, actually. I can't remember now. It was the better version of it. I think it was. Also, the turkey store had the Mephisto orb, and that was pretty good too. I don't actually like the December one. I don't like the orb. I don't like the Best of 2024 Diamond orb. And I'm really just using my resources to buy more red gear, and that's it. I'm stocking up more on red gear. In fact, to the extent where, like, when G20 comes, I'm going to have so much red gear that unless they like quadruple the amount of red gear needed, it's like a doubling, but not like anything too crazy. I'm going to have a lot of resources when G20 hits, if it ever hits. And that's probably my next thing, is that going into 2025, I would really like to see the level cap, or however we're going to, progress, right? Are we going to go to 105? Are we going to do some sort of upgrade system where we can then do something and then start upgrading our characters to G20? I don't know what that's going to be. I don't have any inkling as to what that's going to be yet, but I really need it because I'm getting kind of bored. I'll be honest, I said this maybe a couple times. I'm getting kind of bored with Marvel Strike Force because I just don't have anything to chase, and I've been sitting like this for some time. I guess it's a weird place to be because I'm just not super excited for things, and so I kind of need that new progression system to come to get me more excited with the game again. And that's kind of where I am with that. I have too much resources just lying around. I'm shocked I even have 80 million gold. I think that's because I don't have Miss Marvel and Medusa unlocked, and I'm broadly skipping them, kind of waiting for Jean Grey and Hercules to dump my gold into them. So I found some ways to kind of just like skimp by because I'm not big into war, and I haven't really found any major use. Let's just, since he's there, let's talk about Null. I mean, I'd really hope that we're on schedule to get Null, or at least for those of us who would have received Null within 4 months, which means that what is it, March? I mean, if we don't, if those of us towards like in the top 1,000 alliances or so aren't getting him by March, I would be confused because I think that's when we probably would have seen him, or pretty close there, maybe March, end of March, that kind of thing. So I hope that they're on schedule for their whatever they're doing for Battle World, and that the amount of shards that we get for Null is also that high as well. The PvP, I don't know where I was going to go with that, actually. The PvP in Cosmic Crucible. I know that they're going to be doing some buffing to Cosmic Crucible. I really hope that they consider the rewards. I hope they consider, actually, so for me, you know, like I said, that I'm not really paying too much attention. I actually downed myself from Diamond 2 to Platinum because I just didn't care that much. However, I really hope that they decide to kind of bring down some of these orbs back down to gold, because I feel that there is a lot of people who are stuck in the gold system, and even just giving them one diamond orb, you know, per week is better than nothing. I feel like they deserve something at this point because they did eventually down it from diamond to platinum. I would like to see it maybe dabbled down a little bit further into gold so that people can get a taste of that without having to just do the Elite 7 dips, going from Elite 7s to, you know, and converting those credits there. Because that's like kind of what my alt account does in order to get that, because I don't really get many diamond orbs. Let's go back to the early previews. I mean, that was about it. There wasn't really a lot there. I guess we can talk about Xavier, right? You know, in my hopes for the Age of X. I'm concerned that, and this is going to be the last bit of the video here. I'm kind of concerned that Age of X in maybe 2025 or like the end of this year here, we're going to start to see a further dip of the player base. And one thing that I was going to wait to bring it up, but I'm concerned that the player base is continuing to decline and we're not seeing that recovery yet. You guys know that I normally cover this kind of stuff in, you know, every 2 weeks, maybe once a month, that kind of thing, when I like track the player base decline in this case, because it's been constantly declining. I have not seen the recovery yet. And I hope that the game is flatlines at some point, that it plateaus, and that it doesn't continue to keep declining. Because what happened, like, was it 2 years ago now almost? Like when we approached Apocalypse, and Apocalypse came out, and it wasn't super great. They had to buff them. They had to do the big Apocalypse thing. There was some disappointment, and then a lot of people kind of got Apocalypse and left. That's kind of what happened. You know, it was the end of it. It was like a full year of a chase for Apocalypse. Got all the horsemen. Got Apocalypse. It's kind of lackluster for an extent, and then people left and people quit, and which meant that there was a little bit of a dip at that period of time. And so I'm wondering whether or not the same thing is going to happen again with Professor X or not. I want to show you. So I have a little place where I post this called, here we go. So this was 3 French hens, right? This event just ended. And I did this just under 2 hours before the event ended. And we're at 282,000. Now, the other one, I believe it was the 5 whatever event, you know, from 2 weeks before this. Or was it 4? No, it was 2 weeks before this. I believe was at 293,000 or so. When I checked, that it seemed to be like about a drop of about 10,000. I also checked the one in November, actually 4 weeks ago, was also around the 295,000 mark too. So it does seem that we have dropped another 10,000 or so between the last 2 to 4 weeks. And again, we're seeing this constant decline. Normally we're like steady, solid 300k plus. We are in the holiday season, so I will take that. You know, how much of this is a combination of the holiday season and the frustration of Scopely and the way that things are going with the game. Frozen Dimension, who knows? Maybe people saw Frozen Dimension and just said F it and just took a break for the holidays. I don't know. You know, I will be continuing to track this as usual, but this is still declining and we're not seeing a leveling off. And that is a little bit of a concern for me. I think I've talked long enough. I just wanted to kind of have a little bit of a talk session, I guess, with you guys here on Christmas Eve. And, you know, just wanted to do one last video before Christmas. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. What would you like to see improve in this game? I know that's asking a lot, and that's probably going to, elicit a lot of comments of different things. But no, truly, what would you like to see change for 2025? What would you like to see improved? I guess this is largely like what can the game do better? And it's not our job to do that, but I'd be curious to know from you guys, what really bothers you, what kind of frustrates you, or hey, if you think the game is the best thing since sliced bread, let me know that too. That's okay. We don't have to always agree on things. So that's it. Enjoy Christmas, everybody. I don't know if I'll be putting out a video on Christmas. I don't really have anything unless some shit hits the fan for some reason, but otherwise I'll probably wait until the 26th. That's it for now, everyone. Have a great Christmas, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Boilon signing out.